then change the subject. Hugh Laurie first hit our screens with Stephen Fry over 30 years ago, appearing in comedy classics like Blackadder, a bit of Fry and Laurie, touch of Fry and Laurie actually, Jeeves and Wooster. But in 2004, things changed when Hollywood knocked on his door.
Since then, he's had various movie roles, including Stuart Little and 101 Dalmatians, but now most famous for playing the lead role in multi-award-winning US medical drama series House, which has been viewed by over 81 million people worldwide.
You liking this intro?
I'm loving it.
We haven't got time for the interview.
Right.
Because it continues.
Anyway,
But
it's been an absolute delight. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, all right, see you again.
But his talent doesn't end there with acting, no. In 2011, Hugh announced to the world his love of the blues and has since had a successful musical career touring the globe with his band Copper Bottom. Oh, it goes on forever.
Right,
let's have a look at your talents. Here we go.
Blimey, you're ugly.
Unchain my heart,
Make sure that everything's okay between us.
let me go my way.
Well, standing here, and this guy came here around the corner.
Can you wait? Can you wait?
You worry me night and day.
Well, standing here, and this guy came here.
You lead a life of misery.
You have a parasite.
Care a bag of beans for me, so
I was standing here, and this guy, and I'm hearing around the corner.
Wait until I have asked you a question!
Hardig sounds Jewish, so does Astronam, so I'll take the Hardig kid out back of Meissen. How's that?
Standing here, and this guy.
Still brilliant, still brilliant. Lovely to see you.
Well, thank you very much. Lovely to see 30 years of one's life condensed into 30 seconds. That's absolutely...
We're good at that.
I think one could live like that.
Well, we're going to... there are lots of things to pull out there, but I think we'll pull out the music, first of all, because it's interesting to see you doing all of those sort of fantastic acting jobs, but you were too shy when you were younger to sing.
That's absolutely right. It was pure shyness, fear, anxiety.
Yet you could act.
Well, I mean that's arguable. Lots of people would take issue with that, but it's odd. It is odd. I think there's something much more naked, something much more exposing about music than about acting. I don't know why that is. My suspicion is that when people decide to become actors, they are essentially looking to put a mask on their face to hide themselves. Music is really about removing masks. It's about exposing yourself. It's a much more vulnerable position to be in, and it's something that I was frankly too chicken to do. I mean, I did it a little bit, but only in the guise of sort of comic songs and pastiches and things.
Yeah.
So when the phone call comes through, who knows, do you want to do this? Who gives you the opportunity to make an album?
A very nice man from a record company. That sounds like a contradiction in terms, but actually he's a very, very nice man from a very nice record company, from Warner Brothers, who said, how do you fancy doing this? Do you want to make a record? And my first response was, the shy one, was to say, oh, I couldn't possibly, I'm not worthy, etc. And then I thought, well, there could come a time in my life when I look back and say, I could have done that and didn't.
Yeah.
And I would never, ever forgive myself. This is an amazing opportunity. I would be mad. Whatever happens, I would be mad to say no, because I think, by and large in life, you know, as someone once said, and I think it was me, you don't regret the things you do, you regret the things you don't do. And I think that's that was my big fear, was regretting not taking this opportunity. So
But this is such a specific style. This is blues, this is American music, and you said that actually it's a style that enchanted you since you were a little boy.
Absolutely.
So who first introduced you to it?
I heard a song on the radio that was like, I think it was, I mean, I was very, very young. I think it was a Willie Dixon song, but I can't be sure. But I heard that blue note, that blues sound, and it was like an electric shock. I was just transfixed by this extraordinary sound. And my brother was in the car. I said, what is this? And he said, this is a thing called blues. So I saved up some money, and I went to W.H. Smith's, and I said, give me your finest blues record, sir. And the first record I bought was a Muddy Waters record, live at Mr. Kelly's in Chicago. And I wore that out. And that was the beginning of my a lifelong love, which I will take with me to the grave.
What I love is that, I mean, there are bands that try very, very hard to, it's always sort of cracking America. But because, as we said in the introduction, House has been seen by 81 million people around the world, it's given you this brilliant opportunity to be known as someone else, but to introduce you to this musical
well, I
market.
suppose I suppose you're right. I didn't read that America comes pre-cracked. I didn't really think of it that way. And but we have played. There is, of course, an extra layer of anxiety of taking Coles to Newcastle. That I am trying to reintroduce American music to Americans. But then again, you know, Americans, and even the American musicians I'm playing with would admit that for a long period in the 60s and 70s, Americans really turned their backs on their own music, as people often do. As frankly, we do not go and watch Morris dancing much, do we? Or do we? Or do we? Is there anything you'd like to...
At least once a month,
Once
I
a month.
try.
No more than that.
No.
But and possibly there are Americans who are planning to re-import Morris dancing to this country to show us what we're missing. I don't know, but
They'll be on here if they do.
right, you'll have them on.
They will. I mean, I'll get into trouble because the Morris dancers up and down the country, they'll be picketing outside. But there's something about Morris dancing and then something else about sort of blues and rhythm and blues and that style of music, isn't there? I mean,
there
We
is.
will be in trouble.
I know.
Yeah.
Are you playing Nashville?
We begin the American leg of our tour in Nashville, and even saying that sentence, it's just so
amazing.
fantastically exciting.
That is
really
really
it really is
quite
such
nerve-wracking as well, though.
Completely. This is the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life, and I've done some things, but this is absolutely terrifying. But it should be. It should be. I think every time I'm sort of ready to throw up before going on stage, I think actually no, this is a good thing. This is how it should be. I should be terrified of this. You know.
Sorry, can I just ask you before you have to go? Are you back here a bit more now? Because we sort of lost
I'm back
you
here
to America.
For good. You did not.
Well, we did. You were away for so long.
Well, yes, but I went. I only packed a small bag. I thought it was going to be 2 weeks, and it just so happened that it went on for 8 years.
It did.
But that was my misjudgment.
You're more comfortable now, so you don't have to have the tinted windows in the car, because over here people are a little bit more relaxed. And
they are a bit more relaxed. And also you can't see when you're driving with the tinted windows. This is what
so much
when you have
dangerous.
your fourth or fifth accident, you start thinking, I've got to stop doing this. I've got to have windows I can see through. It's
Makes
important.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
And you also say that you get very used to where you are very quickly, so it's almost as if you were never away.
It does feel, it is true. I think it's partly because I'm very shallow, and also because I have the memory of a goldfish. As soon as I arrive back in England, I honestly can't remember. Where have I just been? I cannot remember, and it feels like I never left.
Well, you won't remember that you've been here, but we thank you for being
Yes.
on.
Well, this I will remember. Yes, I promise.
Didn't It Rain, the album with the Copper Bottom Band. All the details on our website and dates that you'll be playing here
Thank
as
you
well.
very much.
So thank
Lovely
you
to
so
see you.
much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Barry.
Tomorrow, Bake Off judge Mary Berry on her life away from the kitchen, and Alice Beers back as well.
Tom Fletcher's here as well. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.